All right, hey, welcome back to Youth Moms. We are the voice of young conservatives in Alachua County. Got a special bonus episode for you today. Normally, I'm behind the camera. My name is Michael, and usually I kind of sit back there and kind of help run things. But today I decided to step out in front of the camera to do a special bonus. For those of you that watch outside of Alachua County, we have a fun utility company here called GRU, and it's Gainesville Regional Utilities. They service most of Alachua County, not all of Alachua County, but most of it. And today we've got with us Angela Castile. She is the admin and chief cook and bottle washer, I suppose, of a Facebook group called Customers for a Better GRU. And so she's joined us today to talk a little bit about that. Angela, why don't you just kind of tell us a little bit about what the group does?
So our group it's just a Facebook group. It's a place where people can provide information about what's going on with their bills, complain, and most of our admins act as advocates.
Okay.
For the customers. I've went out several times acting as an advocate, going to GRU with them, asking questions, trying to figure things out. We've went as far as going to the new advocate program at GRU, asking questions. There was at one point a lady that lives in housing, and she's lived there for 9 years. In all 9 years, her bill has been over $1,000.
Wow.
And I suggested that she go ahead and she get the free audit done. They came in, they spent 2 to 3 hours at her home just to find out that the housing authority didn't do what they were supposed to do, and her air conditioning was the problem, even though she had it set right at where GRU suggests. Her bill just wasn't coming down.
Wow.
So upon the advocates at GRU investigating, they contacted the Gainesville Housing Authority and told them that they had to do something about her apartment. So those are the kinds of things that we'll do. We dig into the city a little bit, and what we find...
What a mess that must be.
Oh, yeah. What we find, we do send to the state, because a lot of it is questionable,
Sure,
to say the least.
That's fair.
So, yeah, that's...
How did the group get started?
So I'm not sure how the group actually got started. It started around 2012-ish, and I don't know if he wants me to say his name on camera, so I'm not going to.
Okay, that's fair.
But there was a guy that started the group, and in 2022, when the bills were skyrocketing, I had joined the group, and someone wanted to know if there was any way that we could start a petition. So I went and I started the petition. It gained over 3,000 signatures.
Wow.
And at that point, I was just like, what am I going to do from here? I say that God laid the plan out, and he provided the people that I needed to be in touch with to get the information that I needed so that I could go to the proper channels that I needed to go to. I went to the legislative delegation meeting, and I had a ton of evidence that I brought with me, and I did what they suggested, the 10 packets. So I did the 10 packets, and then from there, we now have an authority board. So
why don't you go, just for those that might be unfamiliar, why don't you kind of explain what that authority board is and what it does?
Okay, so the authority board is a group of GRU customers that have, so most of them have a background in business. Some of them have a background in law. And these are qualifications for being on the board. At least one of them has to live outside of Gainesville to represent those of us that are in the county that don't have representation.
Right, because like me, you and I, we live in unincorporated Gainesville, so that means we get no say in what happens. Only the people that live within the Gainesville city limits get a vote into what happens at GRU, right?
Absolutely. So with that gives us our representation, even if we're not voting for those that are on the board. The board's appointed by the governor, but they are not from Tallahassee. They literally live here in the Alachua County area and have to be customers of GRU. So with that, they vote on policies and within GRU, say, like there's a few of us customers that are against the fluoride in the water. Because it is...
I've heard a bit about that lately.
Right. So it's a medication, and it's not the same type of fluoride that the dentist uses. It's hydrofluorosilicic acid.
It's beyond my knowledge. I don't have the science background for that, for sure, but I've heard about it.
And the SDS sheet shows that it is extremely toxic. So I'm at a loss why they wouldn't just do away with it. But these are the types of things that they can vote on. Things such as the budget, they help set the budget. In 2025, they didn't increase the rates. 2026, they're not going to increase the rates from my understanding, and they're hoping not to increase the rates in 2027. Obviously, it's year to year, we're going to know.
Right.
The bond ratings, are the same as they were last year, and with things that are going on with GRU right now, because the city, so GRU Authority Board has sued the city over the recent referendum, and I recently came to find out that a lot of students over at the University of Florida who are in the city and did get a vote, they didn't even know what they were voting on. And part of that is the language. And that's why, part of the reason why the lawsuit is going on right now. And that language says, shall the City of Gainesville Charter be amended to delete Article 7, eliminating the governor-appointed Gainesville Regional Utilities Authority and its appointed administrator that manage, operate, and control the City of Gainesville's local public utilities, and placing that responsibility with the elected city commission and charter officer, and eliminating limitations on the government services contribution and utility directives as proposed by the ordinance number 2024-448.
So it sounds to me like it's trying to do away with this board. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It is trying to do away with the board. And a lot of people don't know the background of the board. They don't know that they are, yes, they know that they're appointed by the governor. They don't know that they live in the area and are customers of GRU. They also don't, so with the language of this referendum, they don't understand that doing away with the board
Well, it would. Let me just interject. I think what it would do, perhaps, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds to me like doing away with the board would put the control of GRU squarely back with the city, which wasn't a good thing before, correct?
Absolutely, because the city.
The city running of GRU was what made the board necessary, correct?
Absolutely. So with that, there was, with the city running GRU, there was $1.8 billion of debt. Mm-hmm. And that came from the biomass plant. Mm-hmm. And nobody really goes into that. They don't know that there was $1.8 billion of debt. They don't know why. And with this lawsuit, because of the referendum, if the referendum... So if the referendum was to stick and the 72% of city residents that voted on this got what they voted for, which let me say that there were some students that live on campus that voted that, like I said, they didn't know what they were voting for and they don't have GRU.
Right.
So they took the vote of those of us outside of outside of the city. But if that stuck, the bond rating agencies have already stated that there would be bond downgrades. Mm-hmm. Therefore, of course, rates would go up with the city commission, as they had already decided that they were going to raise rates through 2030 anyway. So that's where we're at. And then we have other groups of people that are the same people that are trying to voice that they speak for everybody, filing lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, which just proves that they don't have an interest in those people that are having a hard time paying their bills.
Right.
Because it's causing further damage to GRU.
Right. So help us to understand what are some of the major goals that your group has, maybe the top 5 or top 6 goals that the group has that you're trying to accomplish on a day-to-day basis, and kind of what that looks like.
So our main goal is to make sure that the bills stay low. And
Fair.
So if that requires me going to meetings every month, then I will go to the meetings and speak up for
Now, is this the
those.
board meeting that you go to? Or
I do go to the board
okay.
meetings. And so because if somebody's having an issue, I can go and I can, say, hey, look, there's a customer that's having an issue.
Sure.
If I see that there's a lot of people having issues, I will go and I will say, hey, look, what is this issue? There's so many people. And the group is actually open. You don't have to join the group on Facebook.
Okay. It's
open. So I will tell you that the main purpose is so that the legislators can see what's going on.
Oh, okay.
And that way it's just like, hey, they don't have to join the group to see what's going on. They can just step in.
So it's a public group then, right?
It is a public group, yes. And granted, there are some political.
I'm sure. Anytime you have an open group on Facebook, you're going to get ones that you like and some that you don't. I understand.
Yes.
So beyond keeping rates low, what would you say were maybe another couple goals of the group that you guys have?
I think another couple of goals now are holding the city of Gainesville accountable. We're digging into a lot of, I say, questionable things. There's a specific commissioner that had a campaigning company, I guess. And that company, received money after it was dissolved in 2022, I believe. But anyway, this last election, they received money.
Okay.
And you got to question, is this even legal?
Right.
And they're sitting on the commission right now.
Yeah. So kind of follow the money kind of situation.
Right.
I understand. And what I know you're working to kind of keep this board in place because it sounds like it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
So other than that, what are the latest things that you guys have been doing?
The latest things we've been doing, I'm not going to lie, I've been going to school.
Fair.
But my other admins, they've been keeping up with everything that's going on and just watching the group. And, you know, if there's something that they see that's not right, they'll ask questions and then, you know, we'll get in touch with who we need to get in touch with.
So if somebody had an issue with GRU and they weren't making any headway directly with GRU, they could come to the Facebook group and say, hey guys, I'm having this issue, and you guys could advocate for them and help them do it on their own or do it kind of alongside them, right? Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. So if I were wanting to get involved, how could I do that? How could our viewers, how could our audience get involved if they wanted to help out?
Just go to the Facebook group, Customers for a Better GRU, and I mean, you can join or you can just participate in the group.
Okay.
You can message me directly if you have questions, and the other admins if you feel comfortable with messaging them. So
I think the big message is GRU needs a little bit of oversight, and you guys are providing that and are advocating for those out there that feel like they're not making inroads with that process, right?
yes.
That sounds okay. Very fair. So just to kind of sum up, any last closing remarks that you'd like to make as far as your group? I mean, we're going to go join it, of course, and be a part if we want to. Anything else you'd like to add?
If you have questions about the referendum, questions about GRU in general, if I don't know the answer, I will tell you I don't know the answer, but I will get the answer for you. But, I mean, you can message me and I will. I have tons of information that I can provide as proof of everything. So, I mean.
I understand. And folks, that's our big call to action, is to be involved, whether it's with this process or whatever process that you feel passionate about. Obviously, Angela has a passion about making sure GRU rates low. I live here in the county too, so I kind of share in that passion. So we're very thankful, Angela, for you being with us today on Youth Bombs. Thank you so much, and we'll make sure to send people your way. And that'll do it for this particular episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment about upcoming ideas you might like to see. And if you have questions, feel free to email us at youthbombs@alachuarepublicans.com. And for today, we're signing off. Thanks very much. Have a great day.